Hi, YouTube and members of the Grown and Sexy Edition. I'm coming to you today to do a video that I'm going to do in segments in regards to when your best friend is of the opposite sex and it causes conflict within your marriage or your relationship. How do you handle these things? Because if that's your best friend, they've known you forever, they know a lot of things about you, they actually know some things that your partner does not know about you. So they have a lot of intimate, detailed information about you, and as well that you have the same information about them. So let's deal with first the laws of attraction. Because when you think about the male and female, what attracts each other to each other, then I would have to honestly say, because I do have a lot of male friends and male associates, that each person goes through a phase. That phase may be a short phase, but everyone goes through this phase where that attraction is could this be a potential, person that I can be involved with? Or is this just someone that is very close and I can just have as a friend, as a support system, someone to lean and depend on, and someone that I can trust that has my best interests? Because you can have male and female friendships that are very platonic, that do not involve anything sexual or be emotionally inappropriate. But you do go through that phase where you question, could this be someone that can be more than a friend? Everyone goes through that when they are building a friendship or desiring a friendship between a male and female. Sometimes you grow up with that person, so it may not happen until you get into your adult ages that you start to say, that person is kind of attractive, or, they know so much about me. Why have I never given this person a shot? Because you would think that if a person knows that much about you, you guys laugh together, you guys talk, all these different events and intimate situations, you laugh with each other, you cry with each other, you give advice to each other, you know the good and the bad of the relationships that they have been in. So you are basically, in a sense, giving a person the keys to you, and to know about you personally. And that's all fine and dandy, because we need those things to where we can have those friendships, and there is nothing sexual or emotionally intimate with that person. It's just a platonic relationship that you can go to them for a friend, basically. So what happens is, when you have this friendship that's been going on for years and you end up getting with someone that you care about, and then all of a sudden it's like they start having a problem with your friend, your best friend. And I do believe that anybody that's close to you or someone you talk to on a day-to-day basis, when it comes to your relationship, that person that you're with should at least be introduced to them at least once. Because see, you may have some friends that I know as a female that may want you more than just a friend. They're just being your friend because that's all they can have from you. And sometimes guys do that too. They'll be your best friend only because that is where you as a woman has placed them to be. But they are waiting in line, trust and believe, to where if they are attracted to you more than just a friend, everybody gonna try to see at least once if they can get it. Y'all know what I mean by get it, right? So the thing about it is, can you move past that attraction? Because you are what you attract. So if I'm a beautiful woman on the inside and out, so then I'm going to start attracting handsome men on the inside and out. But it's up to me to have the discipline as a woman to not put everyone in a potential relationship place in my life. And so if you are a friend, then you are a friend. But if you are a friend, guess what? There's boundaries to that. That means that I don't look at you as a potential person that I could be attracted to. Yeah, you may look good, and I may tell you, all right, you looking good, all right, you looking good. But it's a compliment. It's not to the point where it's a compliment enough to where you need to start considering that I am interested in you more than just our relationship as being a friend. And so that's a personal thing. And once you get past that, then you can then have a relationship openly that your spouse and your partner knows about. So, but then what ends up happening is if there is a shift, because that is your best friend, so they know a lot, and you may tell them something. So when your relationship is bad, you go to this particular best friend of the opposite sex and you start pouring out your heart and saying, this and that and the other. And sometimes when you do that, if they are attracted to you, then what ends up happening is they're like, oh, well, this is going on. So the feelings start to develop. Or if they're stagnant, then they start to be dormant and they start to be active. And once those feelings are activated, it's hard to shut that down. Once you have had relations with a person, because a lot of people do that too, they'll end up messing with that person, and then all of a sudden it don't work out, but you still want to be friends. Still want to be friends? That still want to be friends means that there's an open door policy. It's a swinging door, and that potentially I might feel you again, so let's not burn the bridges. Let's just stay friends just in case I'm attracted to you again and want to holler. Don't fall for the okie doke, okay? Because anybody that you have slept with, anybody that you have had kids with, anybody that you have kissed on, anybody that you have had intimate conversations of what you would do to them and what you want them to do with you is not a friend. Hello? No. That is a potential partner of some sort that you can end up just having a sexual relationship with, or potentially end up marrying, or potentially end up being someone you do have kids with. So when it comes to friends, you don't have those dynamics of the friendship. You can't say that's what that is, because if you have history with someone in regards to it was some type of relationship that was more than friends, you can't go backwards. You can't go to where, okay, you were my boo, but then we didn't work out, now we friends. You can't do that. You can mentally try to trick yourself and act like that's the case, but somebody is waiting for the opportunity to say, you know what, because we used to mess with each other and we just stayed friends so long afterwards that I realized that, I should have just stayed with you anyway. No, you broke up for a reason. You stopped sleeping together for a reason. So to become friends, that it doesn't work, but people try to trick their minds to say, well, that's just my friend, and well, we had kids together, but we're not together now, or well, they were just there for me in my hardest times, and yeah, that's what potential boos do. They hang around. They wait for the mess up. They wait for the opportunity to get off the bench and come into the game to play. Whether they're first player, second player, third player, as long as they can make a play, they are going to wait in the outfield for you. Just throw them the ball. Give them the opportunity. They're going to jump. They're going to start calling. You're going to start running the conversations that you wouldn't normally have, and you'd be like, where'd that come from? Like, did I miss something? All of that stuff starts to happen, and then we act like it's not what it is. Like, he wasn't trying to holler at me. That ain't what that is. He wasn't just in his feelings. She wasn't just trying to get with me. She didn't just act like, what's up? That sounded like a date. That sounded like she was trying to holler, like, get down with me. Not just, hey, friend, how you doing? She was like, hey, friend, how you doing? So you have to be aware of those things. And so when it becomes a problem in your relationship, as you being the friend, you're not necessarily going to see all the gestures that the person that's your best friend may start doing. Usually it takes someone from the outside, and the first person that can pick that up is the person that you're actually with. So if females, you have that male best friend, and your spouse or your significant other starts saying, so what's up with you and baby boy? I'm picking up something, or he looked a certain way, or I don't know, he just got you giggling funny, he got you giggling like, you giddy or something, not just giggling like that's my homie, we just had a good laugh, or you kicking it with them a little bit too much, or they're calling at certain times, or you're too accessible for them. How about that one? Because if you make yourself accessible for people all the time, you ain't never going to be able to be committed to what you got, because everybody has tabs. Everybody can get to you when necessary. So there is no private time. And usually your best friend, you always pick up the phone for them. You put everybody on hold for them, even your spouse and significant others. Why? Because that's your best friend. That person going to be there no matter what. So you have to consider that, and that's why you have people that say, well, if you with me and we're committed to each other, I'm supposed to be your best friend. I'm supposed to be the one that shoulder you cry on. I'm supposed to be the one that you call. I'm supposed to be this, supposed to be that. But then the problem is with that, it's hard for people to put on that role with that, because it's like, I might be mad at you. So what I have to say, or what I would say to my best friend that is of the opposite sex, you may not like, but that's okay, because that's part of communication. Everything that I say, or every problem that we have, or every feeling that I may have about you at the time, may not be something that you're going to like. But when you're with someone, that's the good and the bad and the ugly, because with that best friend, they're not always going to like what you got to say anyway. But the only thing that ties you out of that is that you're not intimate with them. So you're not sleeping with them at night. You're not laying in the bed with them at night. You don't have to deal with the consequences of being that close and personal with them. So what do you do in those situations? And the next clip, we're going to start discussing, what do you do? What are your options? What should you think about? What should you consider when your significant other or your spouse has a problem with your best friend that is what? Of the opposite sex. So until the next video clip in regards to this segment, whatever you do, keep it growing and sexy. Holla at your girl. Peace out.